Hi, I'm Beth from Restyled Pieces Boutique. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at this MCM Lowboy from McCoy. It looks to be in very good shape, but there's just some things that need fixed about it, and the finish is not great. So we're going to fix it up and make it look fabulous. So if you want to watch this makeover, stay tuned. So again, this is the McCoy MCM Lowboy that I'm going to be working on. It does need some things. The finish is not the best, especially on the top. You can see all these little places that need repaired and scratches and things of that nature. There's also something I forgot when it comes to the staining of this piece. So follow along during the video and see if you can figure out, and I'll tell you at the end what I forgot. So it is a McCoy brand, and when I went to get this piece, it was in the shop, and there was like 5 people that came right after I did, after the shop opened. So I was really lucky to get it. It has dovetail drawers. All of the drawers slide smoothly. That was no problem. So every time I start a piece, I take off the hardware first so I can get it ready to clean. When I remove my hardware, I always keep it together. I put my pieces in a little plastic container, and then I have little solo cups that I can put my screws in for those pieces. My next step is to take the drawers out. As I remove the drawers, I number them on the bottom, left to right and top to bottom, so that when I'm ready to put the drawers back in, I know where they belong. Here's a better look of my container that I have all my hardware in. I put all the screws in the cups so they don't get lost. I put that underneath my workbench, and then I always know where it is. It's time to vacuum. I vacuum out the inside and outside of the drawers and the inside of the piece, just so it can be nice and clean when I start spraying my Kreg cutter and I don't get any dust in that. Know what you're going to find in the back of a dresser. And in this MCM dresser, I found a picture of David. What a cute picture. I just hope I refinish this piece so that David and his family are happy. So as you see me do in every video, clean, clean, clean. Your piece must be very clean first. I use Kreg cutter first, and then when that's all finished, I rinse with water. I like to use green microfiber cloths on the water and gray microfiber cloths with my Kreg cutter. That way, if I'm doing something and I get confused which bottle I'm using or which rag I need, then I'll know the gray one is the Kreg cutter. Just kind of helps me out a little bit. You want to clean every surface, the sides, the back, the bottoms, even the ones that you're not painting, because of course those are filthy. After I clean and I rinse with my water, I'm going to get started on sanding these drawers. I'm so excited to see what is underneath all this old finish. Here's one of the ones that I finished up sanding, and you can see on the corners the veneer is coming off. It's very thin veneer on the front. It is wood. Veneer is a thin wood, but I just need to work with that when I get ready to stain. These yellow caps, goldish caps that were on the bottom, I've decided I'm going to sand those smooth, and then I'll either paint them gold or use some gold gilding wax to color those up and make those beautiful again. So here are the drawers sanded. I love this wood grain. I want to keep as many of them as I can, wood, and stain them like a dark walnut. But you can see I have some things to work with. I'm going to use some markers and some wood crayons to kind of fill in and camouflage those areas before I stain. So the bottom of this piece has separated from one of the sides. So I'm going to glue that together with some wood glue and put clamps on it. And then I'm going to staple from the inside so that that is nice and secure. So there is only one drawer with some loose dovetails, and you can see how that's loose. I'm going to just take my Titebond wood glue and put some glue all in those areas, clamp that, and clean up my glue thoroughly, and then it will be good as new. So there was some missing veneer on the bottom part of the side of the dresser, so I used my Bondo all-purpose putty to spread it into those chipped veneer places. Then it will dry and I can sand it smooth. Here you see me sanding down the bottom kick plate or sash, whatever you call it. I want that bare wood to match some of the drawers and the top, and then I'm going to stain it to match. I'm going to be spraying this piece with the drawers in. So there were 3 drawers that I just couldn't fix, or I couldn't leave them wood to be able to stain. So those 3 drawers I'm going to paint. So it's going to be a 2-tone look. So I'm taping off these drawers because when I spray this piece, I'm going to leave the drawers in and I don't want any spray dust to get on the inside of my piece. Time to start working on the finish on this top. I used this carbide scraper because it was a very thick finish on the top of this piece. So I'm scraping off as much of the finish as I can with the scraper, and then I'll go back and sand it with all of my grits of sandpaper. So here I'm using my Festool ETS 125 5-inch orbital sander to take the rest of this finish off. I believe I started with maybe a 120 to 150 so that I wouldn't burn through my veneer, and look at how this top came out. I am so excited. When you're doing your sanding, you want to go through all your grits, 120, 150, 180, and then that's usually where I stop when I'm going to stain. So here I'm using my Surf Prep 3x4 electric ray sander, and I'm just scuffing up the surface. I'm using a 180 sandpaper to just scuff up that surface and give the paint something to adhere to. Time to stain. This is one of my favorite parts. I'm using Provincial by Minwax, and I just apply a coat over the whole top, and then I'm going to wipe it back. What I didn't show you, I neglected to show you, was I used wood conditioner first. Always use wood conditioner first. It conditions the wood, it makes your stain more even when you're actually finished, and you'll be much happier with your stain job. Here I am using blue shop towels. I fold them twice into squares and I wipe gently over the entire piece. I switch the surface that I'm wiping it on. Here you can see I'm folding it to the inside so that I don't smear that stain that I just wiped off on my next pass. I do that till it's nice and dry and all of the pools are cleaned up. So here I've waited the 72 hours for my top, and I'm top coating the top. You'll notice I try to make a smooth, even pass to the end. I overlap my strokes 50%. Then when I get to the edge, I let off my spray gun. I start my spray going off the piece before I get onto the wood. And then I just repeat that slowly and steadily through the whole top. And you'll see me here change direction. So now instead of going horizontally, I am spraying vertically. I didn't feel like, you don't always need to do this, but I didn't feel like the coverage was quite thick enough. You need to spray a top coat lightly, but it wasn't quite thick enough. So I decided to go the other direction and cover it completely. Did you see that door blow open in my garage? Maybe David is watching. Close the door. So after the top was dry, I wanted to paint that edge of the top. So I used my Zebra square brush. It's a great brush to use for edges like this. I had forgotten to record part of this with my other camera, so I took this clip from my Instagram page. And guess what? I forgot to film me painting the body black. Oh my gosh, I just thought there was so much other good footage here that I couldn't not do this video. So pretend like this is a lowboy dresser and the paint is black. So here I'm using Varathane Gel Stain in Dark Walnut. As you can recall, I used Provincial on the top. Oh my gosh, I just had forgotten because I had worked on this piece in between other pieces of furniture. I had forgotten that I used Provincial on the top, but it really matched just fine. And believe it or not, I didn't even remember until I watched this video back to edit it. Then I realized I didn't put Dark Walnut on the top. That's crazy, but it turns out beautiful. So yes, that is what I forgot. I forgot what color of stain I used on the top as opposed to the drawers and the base of the dresser, but everything turned out well, as I said. You would never know. And we have reached that wonderful moment where I'm so excited because I love when I can put the hardware on a piece and see what it looks like. So I'm adding back this beautiful hardware that came with the piece originally. And oh my gosh, look at that wood grain with that beautiful hardware. And now the big reveal. It is so gorgeous. I'll just give you a moment. So what do you think? Don't you just love that dark wood and black put together? It's so popular right now, and I can see why. I really wanted to keep this for myself, but I can't. I don't have room for it. Just look at that sleek look, the beautiful hardware. I am just so excited about it. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, Restyled Pieces Boutique. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, you could get notified when videos come out. So stay tuned for the next one, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.